Hey guys, this is Dr. Hub. In case you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe for updates. Iodinated contrast medias, and you're looking at its classification. So here the iodinated contrast medias, it is divided into the ionic and the non-ionic. Now let's look at what is under the ionic. So when you look at under ionic, there can be monodimer as well as didimer. So let's look at the monodimer. So monodimer, the osmolarity, if you see, it is V1400 to the 1600 is the osmolarity, and it is not preferred due to the high osmolarity. Next we look at the iodine particle ratio. So IP ratio, iodine particle ratio. So this is in the ratio 2:1. Then comes the, what are the examples of this? The examples is, it is the diatrizoate, and as well as the iothalamate. So these are the examples of the monodimer. So under ionic, now we move on to the didimer. So here in dimer, so monomer we saw, and now is a dimer. So dimer, it is about 300 to 800. Osmolarity, if you see, it is a 600 to 800 m osmolarity, and the iodine particle ratio will be in the 6:2. So it is 6:2, or we can call it in simplified forms 3:1. So what is the examples of the ionic dimer? Ionic dimer, the example is the ioxaglate. Ioxaglate is the example. Now let's move on to the non-ionic. So we saw this was totally about the ionic. Then we move on to the non-ionic. So here in terms of non-ionic, there may be monomer as well as dimer. So what is the monomer containing? So under the monomer, it may be, again, it is under the 600 to 800 MOS into 800 or MOSM, and the iodine particles, the ratio will be iodine is to particle ratio. The iodine is to particle ratio is going to be in the 3:1. Then we move on to the examples. So what are the examples here? So example is, it includes the iohexol. So there is a iohexol. Then comes the iohexol is the most commonly used. It is the MC, that is the most commonly used. Then is the ioversol. So ioversol is also used. Then the iopamidol. There is iopamidol. Iopamidol is also the commonly used monomer. Next we move on to the, under the non-ionic, we move on to the dimer. So non-ionic dimer. So under the non-ionic dimer, what is present? There is a, again, the osmolarity, you see, it is 300 milliosmol, and the iodine ratio is very high here, that is 6:1. So what is the example here? The example will be the iodixanol. So iodixanol will be the example here. To learn and grow daily like this, please do subscribe.